Marks. I was hoping to speak at home, but let me say something briefly here. The most important thing, I think, in my dad's life was his background, who his parents were, and what they did. Because if you don't know that, you won't understand why he was so blessed and he managed to go through so much. Uncle Noe talked about it, and Honorable Kutesa last night, what his parents were, how this community was. They were one people. He told me he didn't know his clan till he was older. He said, for us, we're all Barokore. That's all we knew. We didn't know this is so and so. That's we could find out these things later. And his father abandoned, or at least was some rejected by his family for embracing Christ. So, oh, you've gone to eat chicken. I said, okay. So that's how, maybe that might not make sense to some of you, but they saw it as, how do you leave this culture of ours with cows to go and to follow Christ? You know, he became a farmer. He grew coffee. That's where Daddy's passion for coffee started. Coffee put him through school. And he grew up in the homes of other Barokoi. He stayed with them. They raised him while his parents dedicated themselves to preaching the gospel. So when you make such a sacrifice for God, he repays you 2 and 3 and 4 generations. And those are the blessings we're living on. And that's important to put into context. Now, the Bible also says man's labor is a gift of God. From a young age, God gave Daddy the army. He became a soldier at a young age. He fell in love with the army. And the most important thing I'd like to say today is to thank the army, the PDF, for embracing my father, for giving him a purpose. That's all he cared about. That's all he thought about. You know, the family affairs, and yeah, God will take care of you. Don't disturb me. His mind was always dedicated to the army, to making sure he could help build something which could really outlive him. And when he finished the doctrine, when they finished laying the foundations for the museum, he was so content, and he knew he had served his purpose, and that was his end. But on the other end as well, I want to thank the army for loving him back. As a family, we have no complaints. We have nothing. We just have to say thank you. You know, in the over 40 years of service, the challenges, they're this, but Daddy remained loyal. He remained in love with everyone. People would have their misunderstandings, which is normal. That's part of life. You can't work 40 years together and not disagree. And you'd call people, you say, okay, now you're going this way, but remember what united us. Remember why we came together in the first place. And I'd like to thank the president especially. He was a great leader to my father, and he gave him a purpose. He gave him a sense of something to fight for. It's the time we sat here. I think it was a time things began to go bad for Omar Bashir that time, and then it was a complicated time for the region in general. And Daddy was sitting there. We'd sit outside there, he smokes, we talk. He said, our president is fighting a difficult war with these all around global powers, and he said it's a big fight. He said, but I'm glad he's doing it, and I'm glad we're with him. He knew the odds were stacked against them, but he felt so encouraged, and so he had a great sense of, I don't know how to describe it. He was happy he was fighting a war that was worth fighting. And that was him, soldier, and gave him all of that. His sense of adventure, he was carefree. He didn't like personal attachments, saying this is that. So being a soldier and everything's taken, he would always joke, said, the army will even give you a wife if you sign for one. He said, whatever you need, they equip you. And that helped him, because I don't know, as a civilian, to go and look and manage your own affairs, I don't know how well he would have fared, but we're really happy, and we thank you all for honoring my father, for standing with him, being kind and generous to him over the years in all the challenges, from the first time he fell sick to after he recovered. You really stood with him. People say, oh, there's a time he was on Katera. I didn't understand that concept, because Daddy would call anyone, they pick his phone, they do everything for him. So there's never a time that we didn't feel the presence of the army and their support. So that's the main thing I wanted to think and to talk about today. The rest, I think, more people have talked about them. And I think Paula has something to say. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today, for supporting us and standing with our family. My aunties, my uncles who have been here since we got the news before my mom came, I want to thank you so much. When we first got the news, I don't know if it's the way we were raised, or I don't know, but we thought, okay, we'll just sit here. My sisters came to my house. We said, we'll just sit here at my house and, mourn and deal with it. But Aunt Kankunda called us and said, there's no one in Buziga, there's no one at home. People have to come, go there and prepare. Twaja, now, why are people coming, And everyone was like, of course, people have to come. And we're like, why? Let's just stay home. Everyone mourns in their homes. We are even in lockdown. We are in over COVID, But we came here and Aunt Monica was here, Patience was here. So many people were already here setting up before us. And in that moment, to be honest, it was difficult for us to, jump in, start serving, doing this and that. But people had already started without us doing anything. So I just wanted to thank our family so much for standing with us. I had talked previously about my dad, but I decided to talk again because, like my husband said, I'm a ticking time bomb, so I might not make it to the village to give my speech. You all know my father as a soldier, who he was in his, professional capacity, but I just wanted to tell you how he was as a father. There was a time in school I got in trouble, and they called my parents to school, and they said, now you have to cane her, you have to beat this girl, because we are not allowed to beat these students, but you parents, you have to. So my mom, of course, did, and, she sat there through the meeting. Daddy refused. He went and sat in a car and smoked the entire time. He didn't talk to me. Then we came for holidays shortly after, and he called me upstairs to his balcony. He never beat us, actually. I can remember. Maybe. Okay, he beat Kopodo and Kenneth, but the rest of us, he never beat us, really. So he called me upstairs. What he did was lecture. He would sit and talk to you for hours, and you felt, okay, this is enough beating. So he called me upstairs and said, now, what you did. He said, first of all, let me tell you, you think I wanted daughters? I didn't want daughters. But as you can see, there are two other girls missing, Kuchi and Sherry. He has more daughters than sons, obviously. He said, I didn't want daughters. But one after another, God just kept giving me girls. I don't want girls. He said, Junior can go in the street and do whatever he wants. I don't care. But you people, he said, when they called me, the school telling me you're in trouble, I felt like cold water had been poured on my heart. He said, you think I want to live like that? And in that moment, I realized, like, Fambi, this man really cares for us. And he has a soft spot for girls. He really had a soft spot for us, The way that he fought with Junior and talked to him was not how he talked to us. He was very tender, very loving, very, towards us. That's the kind of father that he was, especially in the second phase of his life after he had quit drinking. He became even more compassionate, more, So the last time that we were with him, when he was kind of okay, he was still sick, but okay enough to travel to the village. We were all in the village with our kids, and I told him, okay, Daddy, now you've retired. What are you planning on doing? He said, I'm done. I've retired. I said, yeah, but when people retire, they have other plans. What are you going to do? He said, no, I've reached 65. After 65, it's all downhill from there. If you haven't accomplished what you wanted to accomplish by 65, you have no hope. So I said, I've done everything I want to. Now it's you guys' turn to take over. And hearing that, of course, it scared me. I'm like, no, Daddy, you can't give up on life. I said, why don't you write another book and tell us more of our history? He said, these people don't want their stories told. Yeah, he said they don't want their truths to be told, so I'm done writing books. And in that moment, I told my sister, I said, you know what, you guys, this guy is, yeah, he's done. He's saying goodbye to us in his own way, and we have to start making peace with it. I think that's why we have been as strong as we have, like Mommy said yesterday, is because slowly...
Hezekiah was given another chance. Haven't you not got any challenging moment in your life? Haven't you fallen sick sometime? Probably some of you here have had COVID-19 and God spared you. Why do you think God has spared you? Probably some of you fell sick. Probably some of you definitely had issues with the war. And I appreciate our generals, our UPDF family members. You have gone through hard times. We want to thank God for you, for protecting you, for keeping you, for giving you the gift of life. When I see what is happening in Afghanistan and say, Banang, our security people, they need to be prayed for. They need us to pray for them, because without you then, who is there to protect us? I know God is the one, but we need the soldiers. We need the police. We need the security organs. We need you. Because yes, God works through people. God has saved you many times. I'm sure you can give a testimony that one day I was almost shot, but God saved me. One day I escaped death, but God saved me. You have testimonies. But why do you think God is keeping you behind? There is a reason why God is keeping you. He gives you another chance, because there's a plan. Listen to this. In March, we came here. We had some prayers. I go around visiting our fellowships. And I had a powerful testimony from Mama Kutesa, Dora, and also the late. How God saved him because he was almost condemned. He had a problem of a liver. And nobody was there to donate a liver for him to survive. I was really impressed by that testimony from Mama Dora sharing that testimony, and the husband was also sharing. I was impressed and invited them. Now on today is 21st. This was also 21st March when they came to my home. 21st March. And they shared a powerful testimony. Mama Dora, you shared that testimony. I heard the people calling me and they were crying. And people are saying they have never had a person with such a great love like you have for your heart. Yes, because General Kutesa was supposed to die. Was supposed to die because of the liver issues. He was supposed to die. And the testimony his wife shared, I have never forgotten it. When even some of the family members said, you cannot really donate your liver to this man, you can't do that. And the dollar said, I'll do it. Can you imagine somebody who's not sick and you go for such a major surgery to have a liver, your liver, deducted, and you donate part of it to your husband? Let me ask you here, those of you who are married, who of you are willing to donate your liver to your husband or wife? Their hands, because there is no need at the moment. But if it comes, and the reality, then this is when somebody, wait a minute.